Hello, YouTube land. Sunshine here with another discussion of weight loss and some tips from me on how to do it. Love to hear your tips and your successes and your problems. Put that in the comments below and I will respond. So today we're going to talk again about cravings. And so how do we get around those? How do we just completely, just avoid them? So one of the most important things I do is I start every morning with an intention. And I repeat it over and over in my brain. And maybe throughout the day. Say, my intention is to eat according to plan today. So often when I'm losing weight, which I am right now, trying to lose weight, turn away from the cravings. Turn away. Don't continue to indulge them. Because we know the more we wear ourselves down, the more likely we are to end up in a pint of ice cream. And for every time you turn away the craving, rejoice. Just say, hey, you accomplished that and I'm proud of you. So give yourself a little hug or a little pat on the back, whatever, but relish your success and you will have more of them, I guarantee. So when I'm faced with cravings, and I will go over and over them in my mind till eventually I eat something. So, but then I remembered this list. I've had it forever and I didn't have it out. These are all the activities I can do instead of eating in that moment. And I know I live alone and I work from home, but here's some ideas that I hope we can all do, even if we're, chained to a desk. But first of all, just move your body. And better yet, rock out. Music has helped me so much in life, but in weight loss, when I really need to redirect my brain, I have a whole bunch of songs that can do that for me. I read my journals and I write in my journals. I hope everybody who journals a lot anyway goes back regularly and reads them. Drink water, drink tea, drink hot broth. What I would do, I was an art quilter for many years, and so when I had a moment and needed to distract myself, I'd go out to Pinterest or look at other artists and enjoy their work and get ideas for me. So that's something that I did, but if you can find a go-to site or whatever that you enjoy, do that. Meditate. Meditate has become a buzzword in the West, which it wasn't until I believe the 60s. When some Zen Buddhists appeared. But anyway, but meditation is very popular these days, and it is wonderful practice if you can get into it. I have meditated for 18 years, but my practice recently fell by the wayside when I went to the hospital, which was tough. But I will get back in it because what I experience when I meditate, and it takes discipline, folks. I appreciate that, but the more you do it, the more comfortable you are. It just takes me a minute or two to drop into that state. What I get from meditation, which is so incredibly helpful to me, is my ego falls away, and I just feel connected, to the whole, which we are all part of the whole. And that is just an incredibly refreshing thing. And another idea I have is to don't lose your words. Don't name the things as they come across your brain. Don't name your feelings. Just let it all go. And when I forget to use words, it really helps. And I have a nifty little tool that I heard about and tried out. Look at this, people. This is a fascinating device. What it does is it's actually tuning into your brain waves. And it's from a company called Muse, M-U-S-E, which you probably can't read. But it's fascinating. So what happens is, it's rewarding you when you get to a calmer state, and it can tell what's going on in your brain. I don't know how, but they do. And so what happens is, as the more you calm, it has little reward sounds. And for me, it's little birds chirp when I settle into the meditative state that I'm searching for. So this is a clever little device, and I encourage it for people. I like reinforcement, and when I'm in a calm state, I want it to be noticed. So try meditation and stick with it, and start. I started off with like 5 minutes, and it was interminable. I can't sit here for 5 minutes and not do anything. but then gradually add a little more time. And always use a timer, I find, because then I know it will be over at some point. But often I get lost in it and I really enjoy it. Yoga is a neat way to distract yourself from the craving. Draw. I'm big fan of drawing little characters. I draw my little snarks and I enjoy that. So draw, doodle, whatever. I would go and organize my arts and crafts things, and that always made me happy. Yeah, I'd go and organize those and then probably go out and buy some more. Listen to a TED Talk. Wow, they are a wonderful, wonderful resource. Zentangle, if you know what that means. It's I guess it was a movement that came out, and it's just an idea of how to draw your own, shapes, and then you color them in or whatever in different places. But it was just a really understandable technique for me. So Zentangle is a way to turn away from the craving. Here's a fun one. I did this once, and I'd sure like to do it again. Write yourself a letter and find a way to have it delivered in 3 months. So you're not going to look at it for 3 months. This gave me, when I did it, such an interesting perspective, because I remembered who I was 3 months ago. In 3 months, a lot can happen. And so now your older self can find out exactly what the younger self was doing. You can do this with journaling, of course, but I found this was a nifty way to keep the secret from myself about what was in the letter. So write yourself a letter, figure out how to have it delivered 3 months later. Something that I have done occasionally when I'm super frustrated and just need to burn away a craving is I cry. Not sobbing, not wailing, but just a little tear comes down your face, and you go, oh. And I would feel better. After that. And if you do have legs that work and you're fighting a craving, go outside and look around and listen, and just use your eyes and look for birds. I love birds. So look at nature. I hope there's some green near you. Look at green things and just get outside and breathe. Just take, if you live somewhere where you can't breathe, do that. So, and then you can meditate again. You're lucky. So, I have one more thing that this is important, and it's kind of difficult, people, but I think it's really useful to walk through this process. I did not write this, and I don't have the source for it, but I've had this for about 10 years. So this is a list, takes us through the consequences of overeating and following a food craving. So we're going to walk all the way through it to the end result, okay? We taste something we like. The taste pleasure is fleeting. We avoid feeling an uncomfortable feeling for the moment. The taste leads to wanting to taste more and eat more. We feel guilty for eating a food that is high in calories and not nutritious. We feel guilty for overeating. Gets worse. We berate ourselves for not having enough willpower. And I've struggled with willpower, and now I'm sort of reluctant to use that word. I think more a commitment to weight loss is more empowered than judging yourself for willpower. If you have that commitment to weight loss, and you just keep reminding yourself of your intention, I think that's the most important thing. So here's the more consequences. They keep piling on here. We gain weight. We indulging that craving. This is an interesting one. We undercut our growth by missing out on discovering the beliefs that are generating our uncomfortable emotions. Isn't that interesting? So all of our uncomfortable emotions are coming from somewhere. And unless we stop and look at what is underneath those, we're going to shortchange ourselves. We hide because we feel too fat. That certainly was me. I started to essentially isolate in ways because I just didn't feel good enough to go out in public. Isn't that sad? I just felt unattractive. And when we feel too fat, we lose confidence professionally and socially. And that certainly happened to me. I didn't want to go to parties because I didn't feel that I would, look good enough, which was incredibly silly. I was missing out on some fun experiences because I just felt so burdened with my own sort of lack of self-esteem. So we feel, this is the end result, the very end result, the consequences of, overeating, doing that binge. We feel physically uncomfortable, bloated, nauseated, or listless. We don't want any of that stuff, do we? But as you walk through this list, you can see if you can take it from the beginning to the end and say, I indulge this craving, I'm going to want more of it, I'm going to feel bad, I'm going to beat myself up, I'm not going to understand what's going on in my life. And eventually you feel bloated, nauseated, and listless. I do not wish that for any of us. So thanks for tuning in. If you had enjoyed this, please leave a comment below. Thanks.